So when we went the last time, this was actually the first time in about 14 years that we've actually been to a theme park. In my younger days, my younger, healthier days, I loved a theme park. I was proper daredevil. I was on all of them, and you enjoyed them as well. When we actually started dating, my first birthday with you took me to Drayton Manor, didn't you?
Yes.
So it was one of those things. We both loved them. We always went on them, but I just kind of assumed the older I got and the less, the pain conditions, the health problems, I just couldn't go on them, especially because I'm a big girl, I'm plus size, and I didn't want the embarrassment of having to be kicked off rides. I couldn't get in them, and then they caused me pain. And then after looking at some videos, after seeing what was out there, we're really hoping maybe next year, maybe the year after, to go to Disneyland Paris. That's kind of our dream. And they're really good for disability, for plus size. So this is kind of us building up to this, isn't it? It's kind of like our test. So we're going to start doing different theme parks, see how much my body can cope with. And then hopefully either next year, if it's safer, or maybe the year after, get to Disneyland Paris, and then maybe one day do Disneyland Florida. But is that Disneyland? No, Disney World.
Disney World. Walt Disney World.
So scooting back to West Midlands Safari Park, which was lovely.
Sorry for the jump cut there. Someone went out with their moped or motorbike and made a lot of noise. Where were we? Oh yeah, going into the theme park.
So, jumping back to West Midlands Safari Park, you go down the hill. You can either buy the tickets before you go. Online, you can usually get a little bit of a discount. When I went on to get the prices, you could buy them at the same time. Because we weren't sure whether we were actually going to go on the rides, we didn't do that.
We couldn't.
Couldn't we?
No.
Oh, yes, sorry.
Because
yes.
we had a free return ticket. To get your free return, you have to return in the exact same vehicle that you went in the first time, unless you notify me in advance, and you can't upgrade or downgrade that ticket, even though why would you want to downgrade if you already got the higher tier? So if you had just Safari only, not rides, then your free return, you can only use the voucher code to get a free return as only Safari, not rides, and then you have to pay for the ride ban separately, which is what we had because we didn't do the rides for 5 times. So that's why, and then we had to buy our wristbands when we were there.
I totally forgot that. That was a good catch from him. I totally forgot that. So I got the costs for you. They could be different. These are the prices from today, which is the 30th of May. Obviously, online they could be different, and in the park they could be different. So for an adult, it's £15. For a child, it's £13. For a senior who's over 65 years old, it's £14. And for a student with the correct ID, it's £14. For an adult paying a full price ticket, you get a free carer if you're disabled. The lady we spoke to, Hannah, she was brilliant, because I literally rolled up going, is it even worth me doing this? Because I'm plus size, I'm a big girl, I'm disabled, I've not gone on a ride in 14 years. And we've got the map in front of us. Shall I just hold it up?
If you hold it up, I have a scan of this map, but how well it will come out, I don't know.
And what she did is she labelled all the rides that I'd be fine on. She labelled all the ones that had steps, all the ones that were absolutely fine that you could literally walk up to, could roll up to. She labelled the ones she thought I might have some problems on.
She labelled...
Can you do it?
If I fold like this and fold like this and fold like this. So, for example, the flying chairs, which is there, she's put 4 because there's 4 steps up to it. But what she's also done is their policy for like the roller coasters and the log flumes, and the reason she's put an A on it is basically the evacuation procedure, which is you must be able to get down steps with or without assistance. So that's what she's put the A on, is that there is an evacuation procedure that may involve you having to get down steps. They don't say you must do it completely alone. They go with assistance if need be.
Yeah.
The only other one she's done is Venom. She put a star on it. because there is a particular seat that she said you had to go for.
A big girl seat.
Which turned out to have other issues.
We will talk about that.
But otherwise, pretty much everything she's turned around. And, she put a star on Kong just because it was a kind of notify us that there may be problems. Where is it? There's Kong. There may be problems due to the fact that its restraints come up to your back and press on your back.
And I think it's got 2 steps, if you can see it there.
Yes, it had some steps to get up to it. So she just noted that down, that just be wary that it will press against your back. So if you have lower back issues, then it most likely isn't right for you.
Such a small thing to do, to take a time, but it made a real big difference. So, Kong wasn't an issue for me because I went in already knowing I wasn't going to go on. I had problems with my back and I looked at that going, no thank you. I did watch a couple of videos. I didn't really see any that were specific for me, but you can get the gist from it. So should we have a little talk about my experience at the park?
Shall we go, right, start off with, Hannah, you're awesome.
Awesome, Hannah was superb.
Good 2-3 minutes just marking us up, making us feel comfortable, and even
above and beyond.
Even turned around to you and said that should you find you have issues getting in rides, come back and she would refund us the wristband. So she was awesome. And
Phil got a free carer, and even rides I couldn't go on or I didn't want to go on, he could still go on them because it was just another adult band. It wasn't one that was like carer. Yeah. It was just 2 adult bands. So Phil could come on with me. I could go on rides on my own if I wanted to. There wasn't, sometimes we're just labelled, you are disabled or you are the carer. Whereas with this, there was a lot of, a bit of independence. He's there as my carer, he's there as my husband. But, if I fancied doing something on my own, which I did, I could. So that was nice.
First ride was Pirate Ship.
Pirate Ship. I love the Pirate Ship. Pirate Ship's one of my favourite rides. Was absolutely fine. There was, say that's the left side, that's the right side. I found the right side a lot easier to get into because there was like a bar I would have had to climb over. Went round on my scooter, parked up the scooter. You helped me in. But to be honest, I got in quite easily on my own. There are 2 steps.
There's 2 steps up to the ship, and then depending on which bit of the ship you get on...
We were right at the edge.
Because you wanted the right at the edge. Depending on which bit of the ship you get on, it's either a small step that I'd say is about 10 centimetres, all the way up to probably about 30 centimetres, so a foot, a step up into the biggest part. The back, what is the back of the ship, the step up is a lot lower than it is at the front of the ship. The front of the ship is a much bigger step to get into the ship, so that's why it was like, we'll go to the right side, the back of the ship, because it's just a lower step for you.
I think it was a lot easier for me because I am able to do a small amount of steps. I could get out of my scooter. I think some of the rides that I tried to get on, I don't know what it's like to try and transfer from a wheelchair. If you can transfer from a wheelchair, they have the knowledge. You have the knowledge. I'm sure it's doable. I personally, I can't go, you can do that because I don't know how. But even the staff, I think they would help you.
Yeah, obviously within what they're allowed to do at the moment.
And what you're comfortable to do.
And to be honest, it's not like the staff member was rushing you.
No, he was really chilled.
The guy was just like, he was quite happy to have a little bop along to the music that plays in the background.
He was really nice.
He was really relaxed. And yeah, they don't rush you. They'll just wait for you to take your time to get on. He even briefly was looking like he was going to come over and offer to move the scooter over, but then I'd already done it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't an issue there. And then, he was quite a funny bloke. I wish I got his name because he was funny.
He was awesome. We saw him a couple of times because I kept going back on. So we came off that. If you've seen the video, I've had so many people say how much they love me on the pirate ship, love my energy. Is that the right word? Energy.
Yes. You may want to say about the restraints on that.
I was laughing my head off. Yes, the restraints fitted, but they did dig in. So I think even if you were bigger than me, you'd get in, but you just have to realise they will dig into your stomach. If I do have problems with my stomach, but luckily that day I wasn't having symptoms. I was okay. But it's just to be aware they do go down. They can't lift them back up.
Yeah, they're hydraulic. There is no... Unlike some rides where you can judge it and it clicks and locks kind of thing, this is you lift your hands up out the way and a metal hydraulic bar comes down and locks. And
I think what's quite lucky as well is it hadn't affected the ride. I think if it had affected the ride, I would have been kicked off. But because it was still working fine... He was like, yeah, it's fine, don't worry.
He actually found it quite funny because the fact that the bar... He used to go along and the bar's moving and this just was rock solid. Yeah. He was like, yep, you're in there.
You're in, that's fine. And I didn't feel shamed or anything. I didn't feel like he was going, oh, you're too big. He was like, yeah, it's fine, carry on. And I think that made a big difference. And to be honest, like when things happened later on, I didn't feel like I was being body shamed. It was just unfortunate.
Something to bear in mind is if you have lower body... I think the correct term now, deficiencies, i.e. you're an amputee or something like that. For me, even when I was on the other side, the bar doesn't actually kind of pin you down, so you can move around freely. There is times when you may feel like you're about to pop out the top of the thing, so if you are missing like a lower leg or something, just basically hold on to the bar. You will get weightlessness because it is a pirate ship, and just be wary of that just in case.
So yeah, that was the pirate ship. The next ride we went on was Monkey Mayhem. I personally, to start with, wasn't going to go on this ride because it looked like it would hurt me. But I think I was very hyper after the pirate ship. It kind of excited me. It was the first ride I'd been on in years. I was like, yeah, let's do it. We went there. Firstly, I had to walk up steps. I had to leave my scooter, walk up these steps, walk down without a crutch, without anything, get into like the furthest monkey head is what I will call it. Car, thank you. And I didn't fit. There's a seat belt and I didn't fit into the seat belt. And they were like, yeah, you need to get off. So part of me was glad because in my head, I knew I didn't want to go on the ride. So part of me was like, phew. But I must admit, just the pain of having to do the walk back. I did enjoy filming you on it because you were quite funny on it.
Mental.
But yeah, it was a lot for my body to handle. And then that doesn't include if I'd actually gone on the ride. Apparently you can... the exit ride, is the exit still steps as well?
The exit is steps. You entered through the exit on that.
Oh, did I?
Because I went and spoke to the operator because of the way the layout is there for that ride. It was really easy to get attention of the operator because it's the one who deals with the unloading passengers, and yeah, you were able to go around. The only thing you have to do is, because it's narrow, you went up the exit stairs and I had to move your mobility scooter down to the far end, a bit of a distance away. You were looking at probably about 10-15 metres away so it was out of the way, the exit path.
But then, oh no, I was already on it, so I just went back on it. So yeah, I must admit that was probably physically one of the hardest ones for me. But then when Phil was on it, I kind of just rested. But yeah, I'm not on a rush to try it again. Obviously I can't because I can't fit into it. But yeah, that one hurt and I didn't even go on the ride. And then you said afterwards that I wouldn't have coped on it. It would have hurt me a lot.
It threw me around.
And you've got back problems as it is.
Yeah. It throws you around. Even if you are belted in and the restraints are down, you do get chucked about the place because it is a spinner coaster that has very sharp turns. And then when it hits the turn, the coaster will spin and whip around. And yeah, it's mental. It's mayhem. That's the name.
It's mayhem. I have a fan. Oh, thank you, Mum and Dad, for buying me this years ago because it's wonderful. So we got to Monkey Mayhem.
Yes.
Okay, let me turn this off now.
Then
I'll behave now.
So we got to Monkey Mayhem.
We went to Venom, which is a drop.
Tower drop.
I went on. We went to the... We didn't go to the exit, did we? Because the guy...
Venom, we didn't go to the exit.
I'd say the guy was a bit flustered.
The guy was a bit flustered because he had just reopened because there was a thunderstorm nearby. and whenever there's thunder, certain rides have to shut down.
Again, I was kind of to-ing and throwing whether I was going to go on it. I do love drop rides. I used to love Apocalypse at Drayton Manor. But I was kind of like, oh, do I not? I'd just been kicked off Monkey Mayhem. So I was kind of like, oh, am I going to fit it? So we went to we went through it normally.
It's very tight queue line.
Very tight corners. Luckily, I must admit, the whole time we were there, it was very empty. There was barely anyone there. There was, some families, some other couples, people, there were the odd people, but really wasn't busy. There was 2 other people on the ride when we were trying to go on. I was put on the big girl seat. I fitted absolutely fine. I got the her harness, excuse me. I got the harness over me, clicked it once, could have easily, there was so much space at the back, but it couldn't get the safety
basically,
to work.
The ride was not happy. We don't know what it was. It was not happy. He tried to reset. The ride was still not happy. So unfortunately, end of the day,
he wasn't horrible to me. He was very polite.
He was like, I'm very sorry. I think he was like and flustered because
he was very
there's people
flustered.
waiting on the ride,
but they were fine as well. Like, because it was like the last time when I got kicked off, no one was around. But this was the first time that someone was there, and I was like, oh, this is so embarrassing. But they were lovely. They just kind of looked at me and were kind of just like.
Then obviously he had to wait for you to leave the
which
area,
took forever because obviously. I've just been on a ride.
You're walking back unaided as well at the time.
I'm having to kind of try not to fall over. Phil, who would usually help me, is locked in. And then I'm trying to get the scooter out of there. Admittedly, I'd probably try it again. Just to see what on earth was going on with it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
It could be that basically the seat that I was in was probably meant to be the seat that you were meant to be in. Because it's obviously there's something about balance on the ride, because once you were gone, he went to set the ride.
What did it?
He went to set the ride up again. He still wasn't happy until I moved into the seat that you was in, and then all of a sudden he got all the safety lights went green and the ride was happy. So there's obviously it's a drop tower.
Yeah.
It technically isn't in a free fall, so it probably has to be balanced in such a way. It might be one of those, if the ride was full of people, it probably would have been happy. We think it may just be because there was too few people in, and you just weren't put in exactly the right seat for the ride to be happy.
But I think the fact that we went, I could go on any of the rides anyway. At the time, and it's in the video, I went down. I was feeling really sorry for myself, and we actually had a break. We went and looked at the meerkats. You can kind of go around, and there's like a really cute Is it Africa? Yeah, African village. And there's meerkats.
There's the goats.
And we fed the goats. In that area, you can kind of go up. It's like a trail, isn't it?
Yeah, there's woods that you can go through, which is got lemurs in.
Yeah.
You can't take pushchairs, and you could probably take wheelchairs and mobility
We've just never tried.
but we've never tried because normally when they put a sign up to say no pushchairs, there is a particular reason why. So we never tried it. Then there is the goat trail. Now the goat trail might be doable, but we just never really tried it.
There you go.
Yeah,
Just up there.
Park. They've just reopened the goat park after having a refurb of it, apparently. From footage I've seen of it, you are going up a hill, which is one of the reasons why we haven't done it, because we don't want to risk your scooter cutting out on you. Because
then I can't get back to the car. So we'd rather do things we know I can do than risk it on. Plus, we see the little goats at the front, so we're just like,
you see a couple of goats at the entrance who were very, very happy that you brought them food.
Yeah.
My God, were they happy.
Going back, because obviously we've just discussed the African village, which is really lovely. We are very wary when we're at parks that there's children around, and we don't want to film them, their privacy. But just so you're aware, there are rides there for children, and there is actually a little section for the very little ones.
Oh yes, the Bojo Gidley Park,
and that's opposite the African village.
Yeah, there's some swings, there's little small picnic benches, and so
there's
on
some
and
toilets
so forth.
there.
Yeah, there's like a little a little merry-go-round for them and things like that.
Yeah.
Just little play area. I think there's even like a sand pit and stuff.
So that's for like your proper little ones. But yeah, we don't film it because, you know, we don't have kids. We don't want to film kids. So if we see any, we can't away.
So we don't go around the goats, but we do go around the meerkats.
We do love the meerkats.
Which always floods.
Yes, not the meerkats bit, the bit around the meerkats. That sounded like you were saying the meerkats.
No. But the gift shop by it is always... Yeah. I don't think we've ever seen it open. No. And there's sandbags right by the one door because it's obvious that it just floods a lot. But yeah, no, that's good fun watching the meerkats for a bit. And they're cute.
Yeah, they're cute. So we then returned back to the park. By that point we were pretty tired, weren't we?
Yeah, it was a bit tired.
I went back onto the pirate ship. You'd gone to the toilet. You went to the ride called the toilet. I remember you saying that.
Special ride toilet.
And basically I was going to the ride to kind of wait for Phil. But long story short, I had to get the guy over for someone else. And I was like, well, I'm here. I might as well have a go. Got myself on my own. I was very proud. And then ended up going...
Two times back
to back. Which I've learnt you shouldn't do.
When it's quiet days, the ride operator does not care.
They do not care.
He's just like, hey, you want to sit there and go again? Sign. You could go there
go on.
if you want. No problems.
We then went on the carousel, which was lovely. I wanted to go on a horse, but I didn't. I just went on one of the carriages. And then this nutter. How did you finish the day, my dear?
Well, we were going to go on... I can't remember the name of the ride.
It's like Fake Maelstrom, isn't it?
I can't remember the name of the ride. I'm trying to see if it's on the map, but it's not actually... The name is not written on the map.
It's not written, but this was the ride we were going to go on.
It's a rotating spinner swing ride.
This one here.
Yeah, can't think of what it's called. We was going to go on that, but it was closed. They were running tests when we came in.
Yeah.
But
that was the problem of the day as well. A lot of it was closed because of the weather.
So then I was like, sod it. I had physio booked. I'm going to give it a go. So I went on to Kong.
Yeah. You found it okay, didn't you?
Yeah. It's crazy. It's a weird ass ride. Like I say, the restraints and what they were saying, I thought they were going to be terrible. Basically, you have to walk onto like a reverse bicycle seat, a bit like one of those little kind of kids rides when on the spring in the parks, a bit like that. You sit down on that. There's two handles in front that you have to hold on to, and then a automated thing will come up and clamp onto your back. Now, when they say clamp, it's not like it's absolutely pinning you in. It just puts a light bit of pressure against your back and holds you there. The guy, when the ride operator will come around and check and make sure, he did seem a bit shocked that mine had a bit of play in it. Which, joy. They will, if need be, push it just to lock it one more click, because I heard it do to one of the other people on the ride. But otherwise, it holds you in your lower back, and it's all in your core to keep you on the ride. They say you're meant to hold on to the handlebars. I was kind of like, yeah, I'm holding on to these just because I didn't trust my back, and it was keeping my back stable, and it's mental. You did look like fun. I think you could have got on.
I didn't want to.
You didn't want to. I think you could have. I think you would have fitted in the restraint.
Oh, okay.
Because, as I say, there was like a bit that came around the front of you, and then you had the bit pressed against your back. I just think that the motion might have messed with your health problems and created pain for you, which you obviously don't want.
And by that point I was getting really tired. We were going to end the day going on the log flume that's there, which is like legendary. I went on there as a kid when I went to Girl Guides, but it was closed. We left it too late, so that will be for another day.
Yes, and we weren't sure about how we're going to be able to do that.
No, that was the rapids that we couldn't do because it was basically there's a weight limit for the rapids, and we knew between us that we were over that weight limit. But the log flume, it seemed okay. But yeah, we left it too late. So yeah, I think we've pretty much gone through all our talking points. So yeah, there's lots of toilets around. I didn't go to the toilet while I was down there, but Phil did. But there's plenty of them around. We would definitely suggest you go in the week. Obviously, we're coming at the moment. It's going to be half term, and then obviously in the summer, it's going to be crazy. But when it's term time, we would suggest going in the week. We've done both, and yeah, go in the week if you can. If you can, I know sometimes with work and stuff you can't, but if you can, it's a lot chilled. It's, you know, you don't have, especially I suffer with anxiety, and it's so much nicer. The safari's not so busy, the rides aren't so busy, you can actually see things. So yeah, I would definitely say go in the week. Would you class it as a good day or a bad day?
I say it's a good day.
Yeah, and me.
It's, considering we didn't go, well, for last year, COVID was like the first time we went, and all this time we had never gone, and now it feels like a home park. It's really
definitely
weird.
We were even talking about getting the year pass, didn't we?
Well, we were talking about getting the year pass just before lockdown 3 happened. So it was kind of a good thing we didn't get that.
It's a good job we didn't know.
What will be interesting, and I'm really hopeful for, and what our people are hopeful for, is because the owners of West Midlands Safari Park now own Drayton Manor, and it's called the Spinner Group or something like that. Please do a joint annual pass, because that would be awesome.
Yeah. I must admit, that's one of the things we want to do after we've had our second vaccine and had, I think it's 3 weeks, isn't it?
Yes, 3 weeks.
Before the summer holiday, we want to try and go to Drayton Manor. I don't know what I'd be able to get into, but even if it's just going around and going to see the animals, we would like to try Drayton Manor.
But yeah, that would be one heck of a 1-2 punch if there was a season ticket that did both the Safari Park and Drayton Manor, because then that would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That would take on Two Swords Group big time.
Oh yes, definitely.
So, but yeah, no, it's a really good day. I feel it needs possibly a couple of new rides.
Yeah, definitely, and cater for bigger people. I know a lot of rides now are bringing on bigger seats. I think, and like, you know,
test seats. Test seats would be nice. I mean, I know it's not easy for them to do.
Yeah, and sometimes they don't even work.
True.
The amount of times I've heard people go, "Oh, the test seats were too small, but the ones inside were big." It's kind of one or the other. I had to train of thought, and now you've totally made me lose it.
What would be nice is if the Safari Park did was basically do this map, like what Hannah's done on this map, as a map.
That would be so good and so helpful.
You know, even if it was just a case of, you know, for Kong, you know, if you have just a warning saying if you have low back issues, you may have problems, saying what the evacuation procedures are for X ride. If they made that as a map, that would be really
We'll keep
useful.
this. We'll definitely keep this for the future. It just makes such a difference. And like, honestly, if I have to pay 15 quid so I can keep going on the pirate ship, I will happily pay that.
Oh yeah, as long as you had breaks, you'd be on the ship all day. One of the things is we've not actually ever tried there, but I hear the food's actually meant to be quite good.
Yes. The other times we've gone, the food's not been open. But yeah, when we went, the shops were open. We didn't. Obviously, we had food with us, so we didn't have any. But yeah, we could probably do that one of the times.
Yeah, they do pizza and the
Sorry.
Dino Diner. That's the name of it. That's meant to be really good, and the burger shop.
Yeah.
So yeah, we do need to try that at some point. But I have heard that the food's actually pretty good. Not unreasonably priced for theme park pricing.
I couldn't tell you. I didn't see.
It was like $9.50 for a burger. So for theme park pricing, that's not bad.
Is that a burger and chips or just a burger?
I can't remember. I think it came with chips.
We're so helpful.
Oh no, burger and chips actually. Sorry, it was more than that. The $9.50 was for like a panini with some chips.
That's a bit of it. Oh, I suppose if you got chips with it as well.
I think it was. So end of the day, it's Safari Park price. It's theme park pricing.
So one of the things I wanted to ask is, obviously you've spoken during this before, but how was it for you as the carer?
With the mobility scooter, was easier than with a wheelchair. With the wheelchair, because of the bits of slopes that there is there, and some of the ground textures for things like around the dinosaurs, it was tiring, admittedly. Especially the hill that goes from the upper part down to actually the ride part of the safari theme park. That hill is a killer. I mean, you see people with pushchairs struggling with that hill. On video, it doesn't look like much of a hill at all, but it's a hill.
It's steep.
So yeah, with the scooter, it was much easier. Yeah, I like what they do with the carer goes free.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. They, as a carer, certain situations like with Venom, I felt really bad because I was stuck in the ride and I couldn't help you out.
Yeah,
Which felt wrong. But I was happy once I saw you on your scooter making your way out, kind of thing.
The scooter's made such a difference.
Yeah, the scooter's made a difference.
How much I fought having the scooter, it's made such a difference.
I think if you're looking to go and you only have a wheelchair and you do rely on someone else to push you, possibly look into renting a mobility scooter for the day from, I think Red Cross do them.
I don't think Red Cross do them. They do wheelchairs.
There is some organisations where you can basically rent a mobility scooter for the day.
We're not saying you can't use a wheelchair.
I'm not saying you can't use a wheelchair.
Plus, I'm big. I'm plus size, and he's having to push me. And because of issues with my body, I can't wheel. I can't push myself. Like, I can do little bits.
Yeah.
But it would hurt too much to do it. So it is a lot on Phil. But yeah, if you've got the opportunity and you can afford it, yeah, hire one. But it is possible to do it.
It is possible to do it with a wheelchair.
Yeah. I didn't want you to be like, you can't do it.
No, I'm not saying that. It is possible to do it. It's just some of the surfaces and stuff. It's difficult. Especially the surface gets very uneven around the meerkats.
Yes, very uneven. Yeah.
And when I say uneven, it's not just all up and down. There is literally potholes in the pathway because it's mud.
It also gets very uneven by where that lizard stand is. You know, that there's a place, like I was saying earlier, the reptile house. Yeah, the reptile house, and there's like a seating stand, and literally it's like that. It's
off camber.
Trying to do it on the. It's at an angle, so and if people are in the way, especially with COVID times, pandemic times, you kind of have to learn the area. Which is hard if it's your first time. But then you kind of get through it and it's a lot easier.
But
that way?
Yeah, that's kind of like it.
Like that. Our views up there.
Yeah, that's why we keep looking at the cameras.
Yeah.
Like viewfinds. So yeah, as a carer, it was fine.
Yeah.
It was fine. We obviously still need to check out the safari lodges.
Yes.
We need to save up a lot for that.
Mm.
£500 plus a night.
Hopefully they'll do discounts.
Admittedly, that is for an entire lodge, but
I'm not sure. I did try to look into the disability. He was talking about the safari lodges, and I did try to look into the disability accessibility, what they've got in there. All I could see is that they've got one room downstairs with access to a bathroom. Hopefully more information will come out about what
it's going to be about the transfer as well, because you for them you have to leave your vehicle at the main car park or the reception office, and then they take you over there in a safari vehicle. So that could be interesting to see the transfer.
So yeah, that's definitely something I'd like to see, is like, if you do go over there, how would I transfer? If a lot of my family are disabled, so how would they transfer? And like, all of us would need downstairs rooms. So it'd be interesting to see what they've done for people with disabilities, because we want to use these places as well.
I could have the upstairs to myself.
Charming. So yeah, we hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully it's not as long as the actual first video. Oh gosh, we might have to cut it. But yeah, if you've got any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Hope you subscribe to our channel, and we will see you for the next one. Bye.
Bye.